If you entered an instance and transformed into a first seal, what would you do? To make matters worse, people are trying to kill you. Now you know what it feels like to be a first seal in Comodo. But you are no ordinary first seal. You won't be farmed for free and you will make these humans pay. This is WobblyWallaby and this is a sneak peek of the new level 150 instance, Summer War. In this video, I'll cover what is the Summer War instance, 2. My recommendations, and 3. The full run so you can see all the mechanics. First, what is the Summer War instance? Today, I'm on the China beta test server checking out the new content. Currently, in other servers such as Global or C, we only have these instances up to level 140. The beta server has a bunch of new instances for various levels, but today I'm going to check out my favorite instance so far. It's creative and fun to try. Here's the instance page. Unfortunately, everything on the server is Chinese, so I'll use my own translated overlay to explain how it works. Thanks to my wife Fairy for translating this. You need to be level 150 to play this instance. The name is Summer War. There are 4 difficulties: Novice, Adventure, Warrior, and Epic. You have to clear each one in order to progress higher. Each time you clear it, you'll get rewards and it will cost you 60 combat time. Each day, you can do this up to 3 times to get good gear. After that, it's pretty garbage. Even within those 3 times a day, the drop rate is pretty bad. I rarely get anything good, maybe once every 3 runs. Novice difficulty only drops novice level ancient equipment, so definitely avoid doing this after you've beaten this once. Adventure does give you ancient equipment, which is good. Warrior gives you ancient equipment and more Zenian EXP than before. For the Epic difficulty, it lets you claim vouchers that allow you to claim Comodo or Hunting Ground drops. You can also get a rare drop to claim MVP materials. However, I do not think this mode is good since you will not get ancient equipment out of it. And these drops are pretty readily available on the exchange, so I don't think it's worth doing. Maybe if your server is really dead and you're lacking materials, then this might be okay. Or you can just farm in Comodo or Soul Hunting Grounds yourself. The difficulty I would recommend is Warrior, and for 60 combat time, you'll get 487,097 Zeni. You will also get Job and Base EXP as well. If your class is bad at farming, you can consider doing this 3 times a day. The Zeni isn't horrible, especially if you have problems farming. You also get 6 prehistoric brand hero tokens, and once you get 80, you can claim one of your choice. Next are my recommendations. I would recommend this for newer players who are weak, but for veterans, unless you're trying to farm 6 prehistoric brand hero tokens for 60 combat time, I would just stick with doing Panepe Museum instance or doing the Cloud Sea Archipelago so you get 2 ancient equipment each week. Neither of those require combat time. Also, if you're lucky enough to get all the best random attributes that you need, well, then you probably don't need this instance at all. Next, I'll show a sample run. I'll be doing the Warrior difficulty, and I'll be showing my strategy for beating this 100% of the time. It can be tricky if you don't know the mechanics, and your first seal is quite fragile. When you enter, you'll be transformed into a first seal. All the hard work you put into your class and gear would have been for nothing. I show my stats and job level and my EXP. You begin with 2 skills. The first skill is one I call the pass-through attack, whereas in AoE where you hurt everyone that you pass through in a line. The second skill is the beer for regaining HP. I would recommend you turn off auto because otherwise you'll be doing things very suboptimally. Also, you may cycle through skills that you do not want, so just manually cast everything. It starts and I group up the melee people and pass through them twice with my attacks to kill them. On Brave difficulty, you cannot one-shot them. Typically, these low-level humans take about 2 shots to kill. After that, I take care of the ranged fighters, and I avoid the red highlighted areas, which will show me where they're attacking next. After they're all killed, we continue onwards. Now we get more skills. You'll get a decreased agility skill, which I don't find very useful to cast. You'll also get a Shao-Shapet skill, which is incredibly useful. You can't place it where you want, but after you use it, the Shao-Shapet will taunt the melee attackers and keep them distracted. It also hurts them, so this is the skill that you should spam as much as possible. However, it doesn't come out right away, so sometimes you still have to rely on other skills. When it starts, the melee rush me quickly, so I just kill them with my normal pass-through attacks. I do cast the Shao-Shapet, but you can see it's nowhere near the ranged people, so it's not being very effective right now. After they're all dead, we keep going. We get 2 more skills. The first is Silence, which is pretty useful against tough bosses. The last skill is for summoning alligators to run around and hurt people. Here I immediately cast Shao-Shapet and everyone runs to it. Then I do the pass-through attack and then hit the alligator skill. After all that carnage, only one person remains. Next we see a cutscene showing the final 2 bosses. There's a Stellar Hunter who has obviously massacred a ton of Comodo creatures, so for the sake of all our fallen friends, he must die. Then they have a ninja, because they need a melee character. After the cutscene, you have very little time to react. You need to run away right away and get your furry butt out of there. The ninja hurts the most, so you always need to run away from him. Also, if you die, you need to restart from the beginning, so for this floor you need to be very patient. I run away and start spamming my Shao-Shapet to save me. I also cast a beer for HP recovery, however it spawns usually in a random location and it's usually in the middle where everyone is, so it's really hard to drink. You also have to stand there a few seconds to get it, so it's not ideal. Sometimes they'll get a shield that will protect them temporarily. These scumbag humans are really playing dirty against me. I kill the Stellar Hunter, and then I deal with the ninja. I cast Silence on him pretty frequently during this part to avoid being hit by him. Sometimes additional humans will spawn and you have to take care of them too. The ninja is still the biggest problem, so avoid him when Shao-Shapet is not up. Finally, all the humans are dead. And what do we get for all that effort? 487,097 zenny. Some drops, nothing really good. And 6 brave prehistoric tokens. Sadly, no ancient equipment or brave military chests. I also went from job level 33 to 46, which I calculated is about 94 million job EXP, which is pretty good. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.